What it do, friends and fam? We are back with Opportunity in Real Estate Thursday. Today, we are going to be congratulating you guys because you finally got a seller under contract. Today, we are going to be breaking down the process of what you do once you get your motivated seller sell you their home at a discounted price, and then all the way up until closing. So let's get into it without further ado.
What's good, guys? So pretty much what you want to get doing is when you first get your seller, you want to build rapport with them. Like, you want to make sure that they're just as comfortable with you as you are with them, because obviously someone just offered them a cash offer on their home. They don't know. You can't just leave it at that. To them, it might come off as a bit weird. So always build rapport with them. Make sure that they're comfortable with you, and make sure that you guide them in every step of the way. After you do that, of course, you get the contract signed by them, and that's when you want to email it to your title company so that your title company can take care of, like, just processing it, making sure it's valid, and then you also give them the title company your seller's contact information, so that they can keep in touch with them as well.
Yeah, and then moving on to that, you're gonna call back the title company, and you're gonna coordinate how you are going to send your deposit in, your earnest money down, your EMD, how you're gonna send it in, and then of course you're gonna have to agree on a deposit with the seller. Normally, get it as cheap as possible. You can get it for $100. You can get it for $200. Sometimes the sellers ask for like $500. You don't have to pay that. You can put $500 if it's a really good deal, and you really want to lock it up. But definitely just be like, guys, like my the money down doesn't matter. Like, I'm good for it. Like, we're closing in 30 days. Like, let's get this done. And then after that, the title company, once you get your deposit in, the title company can finally go into escrow, which is looking into if there's any taxes that still need to be paid on the property, if there's any debt, if the mortgage, if they're in pre-foreclosure, if anything along those lines, the title company will look into that.
And then once that's all cleared up, once that's all, like, good and done, you want to definitely schedule a time with the seller to tell them and be like, hey, I need to come around and take some pictures of the property. But you want to schedule it for never go more than 4, like never, but like usually you want to say like 1 or 2, just so that you can walk, like, you and like your quote unquote contractor, but it could be like a potential
motivated buyer.
Yeah. And so from there, obviously, you walk them, and if they ask like anything, just be like, I just want to get work done on the property as soon as possible. You don't really have to say much after that.
Yeah, you're basically just walking your contractor through the property because they're a vetted buyer, which we'll get into that. But once you finally take pictures of the property and get a bunch of pictures, it's time to send out your deal. So you're gonna create a document, a copy and paste thing. You're gonna put the address, the area. You're gonna put the ARV of the house, the price that you were selling it for, some information on the house. Maybe there's some new roof or something like that it's a good deal for somebody to buy. And then all of the pictures of the home, and you're gonna kind of create a whole document, and then you're gonna kind of send this on an email blast out from your motivated buyers list, which you can check out our last video, hopefully right here on the card. And you can check out our last video and see how we get motivated buyers, basically. So once you create this list of motivated buyers, get their emails, their phone numbers, anything like that, you can use MailChimp to blast out an email to all of them, a text application, I forget the one, but a text blast application to send out your deal, and then also on Facebook groups like New Jersey Cash Buyer or something along those lines. And it's kind of just email blasting and sending out your deal to as many people as possible.
Exactly. And then at that point, when you find your buyer, you definitely want to vet them, because vetting them is what's going to ensure that the deal goes through very smoothly come closing day. Typically what you want to do is when you're getting the assignment, you want your buyer to at least put like $3,000 to $5,000 down, so as an earnest money deposit, just so that like it's legit. Like that's not a small amount of money. If they put more down, that's even better. And what you definitely want to do after that is like, or even before, you want to like ask them about their last 3 flips, just so you yourself can verify that like, okay, like they're a legit buyer, like these are their properties, this is how those properties are doing and stuff like that. And you just want to make sure that those addresses actually exist.
Yeah, and and like Daniel said, like that their names were on the property, like if they still own it or if they owned it at some point. So of course, once you have vetted the buyer, of course they're probably gonna want to walk the property. Sometimes you can get it to where you sign the deal. You're like, look, man, you see the pictures, it's a great deal. Like I have a lot of buyers interested. Like if you want to walk this property, I'm gonna need you to sign and say that you're gonna buy it for this price if everything aligns. And so once they do that, or if they want to walk it before, that's really when, like what Daniel was saying before, it's really just going in and saying to the person, the motivated seller, the person who you got under contract, really just being like, yo, when you're taking the pictures, being like, I'm gonna walk a contractor or 2 through so we can get some estimates so we can build. And then, because you don't want them to be asking questions, you don't want them to be uncomfortable during the deal. So of course, and wholesaling isn't the most glamorous job in the world. Of course, there's nothing legally wrong with it. It's completely all there. But it's not the most glamorous thing in the world. But of course, there's people out there that make money. Once you walk that buyer through the house, and you get the deal signed, now it's time to just wait for close.
And then make sure you're keeping touch with the seller, the buyer, and the title company. Just because you don't want to, it's not like it's all good on all 3 ends, like just leave it now, like just wait for closing. You have to like make sure that you're keeping the seller updated just in terms of how their property's going, because again, you've built rapport so far up until this point, but you have to continue with it. Same thing with your buyer. You want to keep in contact with your buyer for obvious reasons, so that
make sure they're legit.
And, like, they like come through to closing day, and then obviously your title company, just to like see how the paperwork's coming along and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and at that point, come closing day, you're all good, you're ready, you're there, and hopefully we will definitely have a closing video coming soon. So stay tuned, guys. Peace.
Peace out.